It's showtime at Homestead, Miami.
Audra Baranels just at the line, steals it in the Indy 250.
Look at the back of the trouble, and I go. Gordon to the wall, jumps right around.
Side by side on the final lap, coming to the checkered flag.
Steve Morgan, the last lap half, and the victory in Las Vegas.
Welcome to the NOF SRL.
Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and this is the Mellow Yellow Duel here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series Season number 9. NOF SRL Speed Weeks continues on, and tonight we set the starting lineup for the Season 9 Daytona 500. That race will be Saturday, February 15th at noon Eastern Time. But tonight, it's the dual qualifying races to set the starting lineup, and we got 2 races going on in each of these events. The race to win the qualifying race and the race to get into the Daytona 500. We have 4 drivers in each of these dual races that are uncharted, and the highest finisher and only the highest finisher of those uncharted drivers in each dual race will advance on to the Daytona 500. So it's going to be a very interesting race to see where everyone falls in. And I'm alongside a couple of very special people, a couple of owners here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. William Brock, the owner of the Full Frontal Motorsports Organization, and Igor Barreto, the owner of the Titan Fury Motorsports Organization, the owner's champion in the past 2 years. So you know what you're doing with owning a team here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. And not only that, you have an uncharted driver in this race as well, Dale Salzman in the number 71. So what are the tips that you give to your driver to advance on to Daytona 500 in this race?
Well, I just told him, just hug the inside line, don't give up every single second, and avoid the crashes because, well, at Daytona that happens a lot. But I think if he just stays on the inside, maybe he will have a very good chance to go into the 500.
We'll have to see how it all goes down. He's racing along with Daniel Voiles, Christian Vargas, and John Andrews. Those are the 4 uncharted drivers in this race. The highest finisher of those 4 will advance on to the Daytona 500. There's also a race for the win. I'm going to ask you, William, how hard do you want to go for the race victory here in the Mellow Yellow Duel, considering that it isn't the main event of the week?
Well, for a lot of drivers, with the exception of I think with a lot of drivers, is you definitely want to be up there as high as possible, at the end of the race, because finishing higher in the duels, gives you a better starting spot for the race.
It definitely does. Of course, with the exception of Gatlin Downey, every position will count towards where they start in the Daytona 500. We've done it in past years where owners' points have come into play outside the top 30. Not going to be the case this year. The way they finish in this race, with the exception of the uncharted drivers that do not advance, that is how they will line up on the inside lane. There's the command. I actually forgot to stop it, but perfect timing. We're ready to get this one started here from the Daytona International Speedway. Of course, if you saw Daytona 500 qualifying on Saturday, you saw that Gatlin Downey got the fastest time, and he will be leading the field of the green flag here tonight. Alongside him, it's Patrick Smith, a 3-season veteran of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, in the number 30, Andrew Miller. In the number 24, he won the Daytona 500 pole last year. He's going to be alongside uncharted driver Daniel Voiles in the number 55. Jesse Turner, first ever winner on Napa Fan, alongside rookie Dale Lightning. And we got Mitchell Henderson in the number 47 alongside the 40 machine rookie Bradley Ream. Then it's Trey Borto, your driver on your team, Igor. The only full-time driver that you have in this duel. He's alongside Cody Sill in number 37 for Golden Motorsports. There's Christian Vargas in the 08. There's Dale Salzman in the 71. And the other uncharted driver in the number 67 machine of John Andrews. One more thing to note, and we were talking about this during the Mellow Yellow Smooth Fest. We're bringing in a new quote-unquote package to Daytona. These guys are going to have a little bit more difficulty making moves like they have in the past. We have a range set in all the aspects of the ratings except for aggression. And if you saw the truck race that we had back in September, you're going to notice that these guys are going to be able to stay out front a little bit longer than they used to. So the racing is going to be a little bit interesting tonight and during the Daytona 500 on Saturday. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys an opportunity to pick a winner here tonight. We got Gatlin Downey starting on the pole, but do you think he's going to be the race winner, Igor?
Maybe, but I don't think he will. I'm going to predict not one of my drivers, but one of your drivers. I'm going to predict the number 77, Jesse Turner.
We'll have to see what he can do. Number 77 starting there on the inside lane, starting 5th. Of course, Gatlin Downey, he's got a strong car for Hamill Racing Enterprises alongside Patrick Smith. His 3rd season in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, driving for the newly formed Anderson Racing. Pace car is in, 15 laps, straight to the finish. No pit stops needed. We're racing on Thursday night in the Mellow Yellow Duel. Patrick Smith has a little bit of help right there from Daniel Voiles, and Turner peeking out 3 wide. He's not going to be able to make the move on Andrew Miller for that position. Patrick Smith trying to hold the outside lane, but Gatlin Downey with the advantage at the start.
And here comes Trey Bartow trying to make it 3 wide for position.
He's almost looking 4 wide to the inside of Jesse Turner. He knows better than to not do that on a guy he's been racing with his whole career. They keep it together for now. 3 wide back in there. And Gatlin Downey with the slight advantage on Patrick Smith for the race lead.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like Downey can hold for long. I think he will lose the position soon.
Patrick Smith got the line, and he's going to lead lap number 1 in the number 30 machine, but 3 wide to the inside. That's Andrew Miller, help from Jesse Turner and Trey Bartow. Those are 2 guys you really want to have behind you here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. They have been in every single Chick-fil-A Cup Series event all the way since back in 2015, and they are pushing the number 24 to the inside. Whereas Miller can't start on the pole for the Daytona 500, but he can start 3rd, which is very close to where he started last year. And, of course, past couple of years in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, the pole sitter has done very well. Of course, in Season 7, Zachary Fitzwater won the Daytona 500 from the pole position. Side by side between Patrick Smith and Andrew Miller, but Smith continuing to hold the outside lane. He's going to lead another lap here at Daytona.
And there you see Jesse Turner trying to go for 4th with Trey Bartow right behind him.
Turner now has the advantage on the inside lane of Andrew Miller and Patrick Smith, and those guys look really fast. Turner's going to be able to clear the outside lanes, and here's Trey Bartow, your guy. I know Trey Bartow is definitely excited for this season. Of course, he announced that this might be his last season in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, but you guys gave him his first win in 3 seasons last year. What are the expectations you have on Trey Bartow this season?
I think he's going to make a very good season, especially as he's thinking about retirement. I think he probably can get another win, and I think he's excited to even fight for the championship this year in his retirement season.
Yeah, we'll have to see. We've had 2 past retiring champions, Tyler Silsman in Season 5, Elijah Gordon in Season 7. Who knows? Maybe Trey Bartow, a guy who's never won the Chick-fil-A Cup Series championship before, will go out on top. Here he comes, the number 35 of Thomas Troxel. Great to have this guy join the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Of course, his brother was part of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series back in the day. Season 3 almost won the Chick-fil-A Cup Series championship. But great to see Thomas Troxel here, driving for the Velocitar Racing team. And these guys are making some moves out there. We're starting to see that cycle start to work here. Not exactly what we expected with this new package, but these guys definitely finding a way to get up front. We're going to go ahead and discuss the Uncharted battle, and it's your guy, Dale Salzman, currently in the position to advance on to the Daytona 500. You see John Andrews back in there in the 67 and Daniel Voiles in the 55. They're side by side midway through the pack. The other Uncharted driver, Christian Vargas, is almost at the end of the field. Trey Bartow getting a push there on the outside from Jesse Turner trying to clear the field, but it's looking good right now for Dale Salzman. That 4 wide back in there it is. Gatlin Downey and Patrick Smith. They're in a tight position right there. They're around. Hard crash off a turn 4. Downey, our pole sitter, involved. And Daniel Voiles with damage as well. Sam Dio got a piece of that one. And Patrick Smith is all torn up in the number 30.
Yeah, you're definitely not going to see a lot of happy faces after tonight.
This is the first wreck that we have had in the Mellow Yellow Duel since at least season number 6 of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Cody Sill with damage in the 37, and Daniel Voiles in the 55. That is such a heartbreaker for the Trans-Tasman Racing driver. It does not look like he is going to advance to the Daytona 500 after that accident off of turn number 4. Ryan Durrani, your guy, William, winning the race back to the line. We'll have to see what he can do as the race goes along. Dale Salzman currently in the position to advance on to the Great American Race, but he still has to battle with John Andrews and Christian Vargas. wasn't that big of an accident, but our pole sitter Gatlin Downey got involved, so we'll have to see how that affects him for the race on Saturday. But either way, no pit stops needed in this race. Let's go ahead and see what happened to bring out the first caution of the night here in the Mellow Yellow Duel at Daytona.
So, coming out of turn 4 wide, you always not want to do that. Almost all the time it's going to be a crash, and they can't avoid it this time. 22 Downey just gone up and all into the wall, and here comes the big one with Patrick Smith, and it was a mighty crash. It's a really hard crash. Both Downey and Smith getting a little bit of air, and then all hell break loose behind with Cody Seal and couldn't see that car.
That was Nicholas
properly.
Samadillo there. Got caught up in it a little bit.
38.
Daniel Voiles, too, also went around. It wasn't a massive accident. Of course, those guys almost went upside down, but only about 5 guys were involved, and we've seen some pretty big ones here before at Daytona. That one of the smaller ones we've seen at this famed racetrack.
And you can definitely see the number 22 and the number 30 touching, and that's definitely something you want to avoid, especially when going 4 wide. And just, but it was too late, and everything just fell apart for a lot of these drivers, especially a few uncharted drivers. As I stated before, you're definitely not going to see a lot of happy faces after tonight.
Yeah, especially in that Trans-Tasman organization with Daniel Voiles. They had high hopes of advancing on to the Daytona 500 with this uncharted program, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Voiles will get many more opportunities throughout the year, though, with the Turkey Hill Hot Seat program, so we'll have to see how it all goes down as the season unwinds, and we're just beginning here, but tough to miss the biggest race of the year due to an accident. But either way, that's the way it goes. It's Full Frontal Motorsports and Tight Fury Motorsports 1-2 if their owner's in the booth along with me. How about that? Ryan Durrani. Going to be his first ever start on Saturday in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Let's go ahead and see if he can get the race victory in the Mellow Yellow Duel. Let's get back to racing here from Daytona. And we are back here at the Daytona International Speedway. And one minor rule change, and it might not be too minor if you consider it this way, but only 2 lap cautions here for the Mellow Yellow Duel. So we are going to end up restarting on lap 8 of 15. Found something in the INI, figured it out. And we're going to get a little bit more racing than what we normally would have gotten if we had the traditional 4-lap cautions. But either way, Ryan Durrani for Full Frontal Motorsports leading the field in the number 68, followed by Dale Salzman, Trey Bartow, Thomas Troxel, and Hiwan Hazem in the number 64, his first ever Napa fan start. Currently running 5th in the Mellow Yellow Duel. Drivers who are out of the race after that accident include no one. They're all on the lead lap still. Which makes no sense because I don't see the 55 out there. But imagine that Cody Sill and Daniel Voiles are out of the race. Same with Patrick Smith in the 30. I think Fisher G is also out. I don't remember him getting involved in anything. But those 4 guys, we do not see them on the racetrack anymore. So only 20 guys left in this race here in Mellow Yellow Duel number 1. Here comes Bartow, here comes Turner on the inside, and Hazem in the 64. Those are guys you'll want to follow as a rookie. Jesse Turner and Trey Bartow doing a good job of that right now. Bartow going to try to peek to the inside of Durrani. He's got a nose to the inside for the race lead.
Yeah, Bartow's ran pretty well in this race so far. Can he hold on to leading win duel number 1?
We'll have to see. He might have to battle with Jesse Turner for this win. And these are 2 of only 4 drivers who have been in every single Chick-fil-A Cup Series season. Of course, Jesse Turner, Trey Bartow, Zachary Fitzwater, Matt Delio. Matt Delio already won this week. The Mellow Yellow Smooth Fest back on Friday. So those veterans have been doing a really good job so far this weekend. They continue to look strong here. Salzman is still in the position to advance, but John Andrews in the middle right here is creeping up, but he doesn't have any help in that middle lane. We'll have to see if Vargas helps him there in the 08.
Doesn't seem like it, but I think maybe Andrews can pass Salzman easily if he stays in the middle.
We'll have to see. It doesn't look like any of the lanes are getting an advantage on each other. It's Trey Bartow and Jesse Turner. Jesse Turner, as far as I know, has won twice in the Meliello duel. He's going for his third duel win here tonight. That's unprecedented. This guy is really good in this event. But Trey Bartow is really good in general. They're both really good in general, and they're 1-2 right now, and this is what we were talking about here. These guys are side by side. No one's getting an advantage on the other guy, and this is exactly what we saw in the truck race back in September, and this is what we're going to see on Saturday. But it does appear Iwan has him, giving Jesse Turner a bit of a push right there in the middle, and Turner might be able to clear Bartow. Don't think he will. Bartow's got the help right there on the outside from Ryan Durrani. Alexander Rowe, in the number 25, he qualified 47th, and here he is, all the way up to third, with a shot at winning the dual race, and if he wins this race, he'll start third for the Daytona 500. How about that for Alexander Rowe, North State Racing? He's methodically moved his way through the field here tonight in Meliello duel number 1, and he might go 3 wide for the race lead, but it's still Trey Bartow and Jesse Turner side by side, but Rowe's going to get a nose to the inside and make it 3 wide.
Yeah, 3 wide through all the field right now, and we're going to see what will happen from now on with only like 3.5 laps to go.
Yeah, we're going to come down to 3 laps to go and cross the line next time by Alexander Rowe of Nikolay Sykes. Nikolay Sykes, his first career Napa fan start as well, driving for Angel Racing. Angel Oliveira, the owner of this team. Rowe's going to lead that lap. These guys got to be careful not to go 4 wide again. We saw what happened earlier on in the race. Not only that, they got to watch out for the defending champion, Nathan Baird, on this inside lane, driving for his own team this year. Didn't get too good of a starting position, and wow! Sam Adio, really slow, split the pack up, and Jesse Turner with nowhere to go. And it does appear that Christian Vargas has found himself in the advancement position. Nikolay Sykes in the 6, getting around the 25 of Alexander Rowe, but we did not see that one coming at all. Sam Adio with heavy damage in the 48, slowing the pack up, and that split the pack up tremendously.
Yeah, you're definitely going to see a lot more unhappy faces now.
Yeah. Well, we got ourselves a very interesting race right now. Only 5 guys have gotten away in the lead pack. Nikolay Sykes, Christian Vargas for Alan A. Dale Racing. This is a new team in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. But Vargas is not a new driver. He was in the Season 7 Daytona 500 and won twice in Season 7 in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. But Alexander Rowe is here. Trey Bartow, Nathan Baird, Ryan Durrani trying to close in on this pack as well. They're the only 6 guys who are going to have any shot at this race victory. White flag in the air in Meliello duel number 1. Nikolay Sykes leads the field, but Alexander Rowe trying to get a push on the outside lane. Trey Bartow shooting through the middle. Bartow with a full head of steam. He's going to have some help there from Vargas and Durrani on the inside. He's got the nose on Nikolay Sykes.
Seems like Bartow can get his win.
Have to see. He doesn't have any help right now. Nikolay Sykes does with Alexander Rowe behind him, but Bartow holding strong. He just doesn't have any help, and that might give the win to Nikolay Sykes. It's going to be his first career win if he gets it. If he gets it, there's Alexander Rowe in the 25. He's looking, trying to work it on the outside lane. He's got all the momentum, but he has nowhere to go on the outside. Can he get it on Nikolay Sykes? No! Nikolay Sykes, first career Napa fan win. It comes in the Meliello duel at Daytona. He's going to start third for the Great American Race, and Christian Vargas is going to start in the Great American Race for Alan A. Dale Racing in the 08 machine.
Wow, talk about a rookie winning a duel. That's just very impressive.
Not only that, this is Nikolay Sykes' first career Napa fan start. And some other guys have done that in their first career starts. Jordan Lopez, Gabriel Wanderlei won the Daytona 500 when he was a rookie all the way back in Season 4. And of course, Jesse Turner won his first career Napa fan start. And so did Nicholas Samadio, by the way. So not too bad to get your first career win and your first career start at Daytona. And that's exactly what Nikolay Sykes did in the number 6. Go ahead and take a look at the official standings of the race. Nikolay Sykes wins Meliello duel number 1 with Alexander Rowe finishing in 2nd. And the uncharted driver advancing on, the 08 of Christian Vargas, going to be his 2nd Daytona 500 in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. And we'll have to see what he can do on Saturday. Dale Salzman almost had it, but not really, because he was 4 seconds off, and he got held up there by Nicholas Samadillo. We'll have to see how that affects the race on Saturday. If they get those slow cars, they are closing in on those slow cars like we've never seen them before, and that was a big issue right there for Nicholas Samadillo. And he ended up messing up Jesse Turner's day, Mark Davidson, Iquan Haslam. They were all having great runs, and they couldn't have a shot at the race victory because of Samadillo. But either way, final thoughts on this one, Agar?
I think it was a pretty good race, even with Samadillo splitting the pack, but I think maybe that's a little bit of what we're going to see on Saturday with the 500, because I think it's going to be a race that's going to be decided just like this duel, with some slow cars messing up the field, but we're going to have some cars fighting for the wins the last laps.
Yeah, and that's how it usually is for the Daytona 500. We always call it a chess match at the end, and that's what it was here tonight for the first duel. We still got another duel left to go. Let's go ahead and get that started here. We're only halfway through here on this Thursday night in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Mello duel number 2.
The trucks are back, looking for a new name. Season 3 of the Power Truck Series is screened from Daytona. I am back during Krispy Kreme Series races. Season number 3 of the Krispy Kreme Series is underway from Daytona. Season 1, it was Patrick Smith. Season 2, it was Josh South, who will be the Season 3 Red Bull Cup Series Daytona 500 champion. Let's find out right now as we are green for the Great American Race. Season 3 of the NIOA, beginning in April, only on the NIOA channel.
And we are back here at the Daytona International Speedway, and this time it's for duel race number 2, and we had a very interesting duel number 1. Nicholas Samadillo come in and messed the whole field up. We had a near flip, a wreck, and all that stuff. Agar, are we going to see the same thing here in duel number 2?
Well, we could expect the same here, but maybe the things will be different. Maybe we don't have a crash, we don't have slow cars, and maybe we're going to have the whole world cycle again, like we just had in past seasons.
We'll have to see how it all goes down here in duel race number 2. The 4 uncharted drivers in this race include Nick Smith in the 07, who almost won the Daytona 500 pole, but 3 guys came in, one right after another. Daniel McMillan, Gatlin Downey, and Patrick Smith. They all had laps right next to each other, and they all beat Nick Smith. They were the only 3 to beat Nick Smith. So Nick Smith almost locked his spot on, but could not do so. But it's Nick Smith, Seth Cole, Ashlyn Boyd, and Alex Bonksnor, and all 4 of them start inside the top 10 for this race. So this is going to be one heck of a show to see which one of those drivers gets in. Let's go ahead and get to the starting lineup. Get these guys to roll off here for duel number 2. It's Daniel McMillan in the number 79, who will be starting on the outside pole for the Great American Race on Saturday, regardless of what happens in this one. He's alongside the 07 of Nick Smith, uncharted driver there for Velocitar Racing. We got Ace Garcia, who won the Mello Smooth Vest in season number 7, alongside Tristan Allen, who is still going for his first career points-paying win in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Seth Cole, uncharted driver in the 98, alongside Brad Stover, your driver right there, your Rookie of the Year driver from season 7. And we got Ashlyn Boyd and Alex Bonksnor, a couple of uncharted drivers starting alongside each other. Brett Sierra, his first career Napa Fan start. Same with LJ Semedo in the 66, his first career Napa Fan start for North State Racing. So, we saw what happened in the first race. What do you recommend to these guys, William, to do in this race to avoid what happened in the last race that we had?
Well, if you can, stay near the back. If you're really certain that a wreck is going to happen, especially the big one, you'll probably want to stay in the back.
We'll have to see if any of these guys take that advice or they're going to go for the race victory. I know those 4 uncharted drivers aren't going to do that. They're all right there up front, and they all know that they're battling against each other for the final Daytona 500 spot. Agar, who do you think is going to win this race, duel number 2 here at Daytona?
Well, I don't really know about this one. Last time I predicted Turner, and he couldn't do it. So this time, going to predict Williams driver, time the 92, Regan Whitlock.
We'll have to see. Regan Whitlock returning after a long hiatus to Napa fan. We'll have to see if Full Frontal Motorsports can get the year off to a pretty good start with Ryan Durrani already starting inside the top 10 for the Daytona 500. Maybe Regan Whitlock will win this race. He is first win in quite some time. Great to have Regan Whitlock back. Great to have all these guys back. And great to have you back. Duel number 2 here at Daytona for the Meliello Speed Weeks in the NOFSRL. We're green flag racing here with McMillan taking the green flag. Already you see Matt Dahlia back in there, the Smooth Fest winner who started in the back of the field for this one. Peek to the inside. He's trying to get around Cameron Garlington. Great to see Cameron Garlington come back to the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Of course, Garlington actually drove for your team in Season 7. I'm sure you know the capability Garlington has. Of course, he's a Chick-fil-A Cup Series champion as well. We'll have to see what Garlington can do as the season goes along. But this side-by-side up front, Nick Smith not giving an inch to Daniel McMillan for this race lead.
Yeah, there you see the number 81 of Ace Garcia riding on the back of Daniel McMillan. And
we'll have to see what Ace Garcia can do here in this one for Hamlin Racing Enterprises. Of course, his teammate Gatlin Downey will be starting on the pole on Saturday. Even though Downey did wreck in the first duel, he will still hold on to that top position for the pole. So no matter what happens in the race, if you lock your front row starting position, you lock it. No matter what happens in the duel, you will start on the front row. A little bit different than real life for us, but how about this? They're deadlocked up front. 07, Nick Smith holding on to the outside of Daniel McMillan. Losing a little bit of help right there from Tristan Allen as Seth Cole tries to peek to the middle. You also got Ashland Boyd here in the 21. They all want to get around that 07 and advance to the Daytona 500.
Yeah, they're going to try everything, even if they crash, but they're going to give their max to get into the 500, the biggest race of the year.
We'll have to see Ashland Boyd with a full head of steam right there on the inside of Nick Smith and Ace Garcia. Of course, Ace Garcia and Ashland Boyd are effective teammates, so we'll have to see if that 81 kind of helps him out there. Boyd going to try to get to the inside of McMillan and Smith, and that 21 looks pretty fast. You got Ashland Boyd, Brett Sierra in his first ever Napa fan start. Of course, we saw Nicolay Sykes win his first ever Napa fan start a little while ago. Shane Lake is also here on the inside as well. And this guy is looking pretty strong on the inside lane. But how about this? It's 2 unchartered drivers leading this field here in Meliello Duel number 2, and only one of them can advance to the Daytona 500.
yeah, this is definitely going to be a tough battle to decide who's going to take that last uncharted spot into the race.
Brett Sierra in the 04 wants to break up this uncharted battle and fight for his first career Napa fan win in his first ever Napa fan start. He's got a little bit of a nose right there. He's got help from Shane Lake. And not only that, there is Seth Cole in the 98 machine. If he can work that inside lane enough, he might be able to find a way to our uncharted race leaders. But right now, it is still Nick Smith and Ashland Boyd side by side, a third of the way through Meliello Duel number 2.
Yeah, they're maintaining the side-by-side racing like that, but the 04 is getting through the inside, and he might take the lead going to the turn 3.
These guys have that inside lane working very well. Got a lot of help, but those 2 outer lanes are very strong as well. They have a lot of help too, but Brett Sierra finally getting that advantage on the inside of Ashland Boyd and Nick Smith. That is not what Nick Smith wants to see, or Ashland Boyd for that matter, because if they lose the lead here, they may end up getting shuffled back in the field, which is what ended up happening to the uncharted driver Daniel Voiles in the last duel. So we'll have to see how that affects him. Brett Sierra led that lap number 5. Shane Lake trying to work the inside. He wants to get his 3rd career Napa fan win. And Seth Cole, he won 3 times in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series last year. He'd love to race in the Daytona 500 and have a shot at another Chick-fil-A Cup Series race victory. But how about Velocitar Racing? Nathan Faden's also up here in the number 12 machine. Faden right there behind Seth Cole and Shane Lake. 15 and the 12 are teammates, and they might be working together a little bit. Possibly have a shot at this race victory here tonight. Ashland Boyd trying to work that middle lane. He currently holds on to the advancement position for the Daytona 500. I don't know, guys. Will he be able to do it, or will it be somebody else?
Looks like that somebody else might be Brett Sierra. He's got Shane Lake right behind him, drafting with him, trying to put him up to the lead.
Brett Sierra is a full-time driver, so he's not unchartered. But he is still going for this race victory, and Shane Lake, oh boy!
4 wide.
Brett Sierra moved up on Ashland Boyd. Boyd does not have much room right there, and if they wreck, that is it. They keep it together, going back down the 3 wide, and you gotta give a lot of credit to Shane Lake for backing out of that one and not forcing it 4 wide for the race lead. But how about all these guys right on each other, pretty much around the same places they started in this race. Brett Sierra is doing it again! Sliding up into Ashland Boyd, and that time it's not going to work! Boyd's around, same with Nick Smith, Allen, and the 88 of Diego Yepez, the 79 of McMillan's all torn up, Wyatt Quayle in the 39 with a piece of it, and Eli Bright also got some damage in the 33, but how in the world, the number 21 of Ashland Boyd and the 07 of Nick Smith, both of those unchartered drivers involved in this accident, and neither of them are going to advance on with the damage they accumulated. Seth Cole advances on to the unchartered position in the number 98. But Brett Sierra, that was not a smart move right there. He forced it and allowed those guys to get too close to each other, causing the accident. Unbelievable.
Yeah, definitely not a smart move on Brett Sierra's part.
Well, it didn't affect him that much, but he's going to have a couple of drivers who are not going to be happy with him after that one. And you got to think, too, Ashland Boyd and Nick Smith, they are veterans. They have experience here in Epiphan. Both of those guys know not to go 4 wide and force a situation like that. It's a little bit different if you're going for the race win. Brett Sierra had no reason to do that, and, hey, it's just a rookie. You'll learn early. Let's go ahead and see what happened to bring out the first caution in Meliello Duel number 2. Big one down the backstretch here at Daytona.
So, getting out turn 2, Brett Sierra is just getting a little bit up. Shane Lake trying to get a look, but he was not close enough. But Sierra unnecessarily just moving up. And when you see, he just is putting Ashland Boyd and Nick Smith into the wall. Then Boyd's pants, and the big one happens. Nick Smith is involved also there. The 79, Matt Dalio, I think it was. The 06
it was actually McMillan
also.
in the 79.
Oh,
I think Dalio
McMillan,
avoided this one in the 75. He did. But you also saw Tristan Allen kind of cut back down there on Diego Yepez as well. Those two guys used to be... Actually, no, they weren't teammates. Yepez actually replaced Tristan Allen at Beast Racing. That's what ended up happening. But,
yeah.
A tough break for all those guys involved right there. Especially Ashland Boyd and Nick Smith. They are not going to advance to the Daytona 500. Just think about that one for Nick Smith for a moment. He almost won the pole for this race, but got knocked off by McMillan and Downey and then effectively Patrick Smith. And it eventually turned into the fact that he had to race into the duel, and then he gets wrecked out. He was so close, yet so far away for the 07.
Yeah, as you can see, this was definitely not a smart move on Brett Sierra's part. I mean, definitely a rookie mistake. And that just caused a lot of drivers flying over there. You saw Eli Bright hitting into Shane Lake. Now, that's definitely going to end his chances of winning the duel, but at least he won't be eliminated.
So the good thing about being a full-time driver, you don't have to worry about getting wrecked out here, but it will send you back in the field, only unless you qualified front row, and for all these guys, they're going to be starting in the back for the Great American Race on Saturday. But Ashland Boyd can't say that. He's not even going to start at all. Tough break for Ashland Boyd and Nick Smith there, but the nature of the game at Daytona, I mean, we saw Matt Dalio kind of pull that move in the Smooth Fest, and you know, he wasn't the one who forced it up when he was in that second lane and moved up. He was already behind that and just took the advantage to go 4 wide. It's a little bit different. But Brett Sierra, he went up there. You saw him there through the corner move up on Ashland Boyd and Nick Smith, and I can't imagine those two drivers are going to be happy with the 04 once this day is done. But anyways, let's go ahead and get to the restart here in the Meliello Duel number 2 at Daytona. Brett Sierra, the race leader, trying to get his first career win and his first career start. We are back here, going to restart with 5 laps to go in Meliolo Duel number 2. It's been a great evening. Hope you guys have enjoyed the racing so far, and this is just a preview of what's to come this weekend. Tomorrow, you're going to be in that race, Igor, the Florida's Natural 300. Open up the Turkey Hill Series season number 5, and then, of course, Saturday at noon Eastern Time, it's the Great American Race, the Daytona 500. It's looking like Seth Cole might be in that race, but Nick Smith's going to try. He's 5th, with Nathan Faden in the 3rd position, and Brad Stover in 4th. Brett Sierra jumping out to the race lead, and Seth Cole did not get going. And this could get kind of interesting. If Seth Cole has some damage, that 07 might find a way around the 98, but Sierra pulling out to a huge lead. That is not what you want to do. These guys are going to swarm him here soon. There goes Whitlock, your pick to win this race, Igor, on that inside lane there with Brad Stover and Cameron Garlington on the inside.
Yeah, that's a good line of veteran drivers. Stover, Season 7 Rookie of the Year. Regan Whitlock in his 4th season. And also Cameron Garlington, Chick-fil-A Cup Series champion. But here goes Whitlock to the inside of Stover for P3. Can't do it.
Not enough help there in that inside lane to make the move on the 99 machine. Nick Smith has fallen off the pack. Drivers out of the race. It's yet to fully update at this point. Daniel McMillan, Ashlyn Boyd, Shane Lake, and another wreck! Whitlock and Garlington in the outside wall. Not entirely sure what happened there, but I did not see that one coming. And Whitlock's all torn up in the 92. Garlington with heavy damage. And it looks like LJ Cemento might have gotten a piece of that. I'm not sure if he was involved in the prior accident. Race back to the line. And I would imagine we're going to have a 1-lap dash to the finish. Brett Sierra's going to win the race back. It's 3 laps to go at the line. We should have 1 lap to go to finish this one out. So Seth Cole in the position to transfer on to the Daytona 500. It looks like he's going to do so, but not sure if you guys were watching there, but what did you guys see? Do you see anything happen with Reagan Whitlock?
It seemed like he'd gone up the track. Just
yeah,
like
it looked like he
with
might have
Sierra.
gone up the track a little bit.
So an unexpected accident. Let's quickly see what happened before we get to the restart here. I do not understand this. He just shot right up, got in the camera. Garlington was really low, and Cemento, first-time driver on Napa Fan, got caught up in that one as well. Those guys all had a shot at winning this race, and just like that, they're not going to have a shot at winning this race.
Yeah, I think what happened there was Whitlock was trying to let Kukulon through, so to avoid being possibly being tabbed by Kukulon and actually getting spun out. But in the end, that didn't work, as he ended up going up and crashing into the wall.
So Whitlock just gone up, trying to let Kukulon by and just crashed into Garlington and both gone into the wall, getting Cemento with them.
Thankfully, really it didn't take out any uncharted drivers like the first one did, but it's going to be interesting. We should have 1 lap to go to restart, and we'll have to see what Brett Sierra can do on the veteran Seth Cole. Let's see what happens on the restart here in the Meliolo Duel number 2. So the white flag has just been displayed under caution, so they will not get back to racing here. So that will give Brett Sierra the race victory. And how about tonight's dual races? Both winners in their first career Napa Fan starts. And it's going to be Nicolay Sykes and Brett Sierra starting alongside each other in row number 2 for the Daytona 500, right behind Gatlin Downey and Daniel McMillan. Seth Cole is going to be the driver that advances on to the Daytona 500 as the uncharted driver. Nathan Faden, Ace Garcia, Sebastian Kukulon, and Brad Stover. Hey, your guys avoided trouble in this race. They did a good job. Then John Arndt, Salmon Oskin, and Alex Bongsinor. Bongsinor was the only uncharted driver who really didn't mention him in this race, but he really was not in contention to advance on, was never up front with the rest of those guys, but that means he'll probably be in the booth with me for the race, so win-win for Bongsinor. And then here's Larvin Alonso, going to round out the top 10 right there. Matt Dalio, Zachary Fitzwater, Silas Orta had the slowest time in qualifying, but he will not start last for the Daytona 500. Wyatt Quayle, Diego Yepes, Tristan Allen, Nick Smith, unfortunately going to miss the race. LJ Cemento, Cameron Garlington, Daniel McMillan will start on the outside pole. Ashlyn Boyd, he's going to miss the race, and you got Shane Lake Eli Bright and Reagan Whitlock, who had that freak accident there that ended the race early here at Daytona. So 2 cautions in 1 dual race. But I think it's good to get all the bugs out now so that maybe by Saturday they're not doing all this junk. Hopefully that's going to be the case. I don't know. It's probably going to be a wild one on Saturday like it always is. But 50 laps of action as Brett Sear comes around off of turn number 4 to take the checkered flag in Mellow Yellow Duel number 2.
Yeah, very controversial way to win, as he kind of crashed into Boyd and Smith. They're probably still angry at him, but he won. Still got a little bit of luck from Whitlock's crash and the caution, and now he's going to start 4 for the 500.
So we'll have to see what Brett Sear can do on Saturday. That's not what I intended to do, but everything froze there for a good reason on your end because I accidentally hit the escape button. I'm too used to that. No, I haven't been showing the actual game standings for a while, but we got stuck with that frame right there. So there are the official standings of the race. Brett Sear, the winner. Seth Cole going to be racing on Saturday in the Great American Race. The NSRA president driving the NIRA car in the NOFSRL Daytona 500. Doesn't get any weirder than that. Nathan Faden, Ace Garcia, Sebastian Cucalon, Brad Stover, John Arndt, Sam Anauskin, they're all in the show, and Alonso right behind those guys. Bonksnor failing to advance on in the 57. As you take a look at the rest of the results right there for duel number 2. And with that, you will see the official Daytona 500 starting grid with Gatlin Downey and Daniel McMillan. They locked their front row on earlier in Daytona 500 qualifying, but right behind them, a couple of first-time drivers, Nicolay Sykes and Brett Sear. You see the rest of the field right there. And I'm going to give both of you guys an opportunity to make a pick here for the Daytona 500. But first, what do you think about the dual races that we had so far today?
It was definitely, duel number 2 was definitely probably the most wild duel race I've ever seen here in the history of NOFSRL. And definitely more wild than duel number 1, so it'll be interesting to see how everything goes down in the Daytona 500.
Yeah, I'm with Will. I think duel 2 was really crazy with Sirius like going up the track to crash both Boyd and Smith, and Whitlock just having that crazy accident. But I don't think the 500 will be so crazy as it was this duel number 2. I think it will be more like the duel number 1, a little bit more quiet.
We'll have to see how it all goes down. So we have the field set. You know the full-time guys, and it's Seth Cole and Christian Vargas, the uncharted guys. They both won races in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series before. Igor, who do you have winning the Great American Race on Saturday?
Really hard to predict, but after what was shown from today, I'm going to predict on my driver, number 4, Trey Barton.
How about you, William? You got 3 guys in this race. You think they're going to have a shot at that race victory?
I think if anybody that might have a shot at is probably, definitely the veterans, especially, Fitzwater. He did well last year's Daytona 500. In fact, he won last year's, didn't he?
It was season 7, so it was 2 years ago when he won.
Oh, okay, so, but yeah, he definitely knows his way around Daytona, so I'm going to pick him to win the 500 once again.
We'll have to see. We got Trey Bartow and Zachary Fitzwater as a couple of picks. They've both been in every single Daytona 500 we've had. I don't know. All I know is that I'm excited for what's going to happen. Probably have Alex Bonksner alongside me for the race like we always do, and I'd like to thank both of you guys for joining me for Mellow Yellow Duel. You'll see both of these guys. You'll hear both of these guys throughout the season in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. You'll probably hear William Brock in the Turkey Hill Series as well. Of course, Igor's in the Turkey Hill Series, so you probably won't hear him there. But thank you guys so much for joining me here tonight. We had a blast doing this, and you guys did a great job. So thank you guys. We'll do this again.
Appreciate it.
So yeah, that'll do it for the Mellow Yellow Duel from Daytona. It's been a wild night. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We will see you guys tomorrow for the Turkey Hill Series from Daytona. The Florida's Natural 300. Good luck on that one, Igor. And then, of course, Saturday at noon Eastern Time, it's the Chick-fil-A Cup Series Daytona 500. And Gatlin Downey will be leading the field of the green flag for the Great American Race on Saturday. Thank you guys so much for watching. Go ahead and check out the NOFSRL channel and Marty Zakela's channel for more NOFSRL action. And we will see you guys tomorrow for the Turkey Hill Series, Florida's Natural 300. I will see you guys later.